A historic landmark that was supposed to be a gem of the community falling apart.
It's really too bad, despite taxpayers shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars to renovate it. Fox 28 investigator Brooks Jarosz is on Waste Watch. Brooks?
Well, guys, that home of famous World War I pilot Eddie Rickenbacker sits empty east of downtown. There were plans for a museum and technology park there, and while money has already been spent, some are still trying to keep the dream alive.
Call him Ace. World War I pilot Eddie Rickenbacker started his journey to hometown hero at his childhood house along Livingston Avenue.
The building's still standing. It's still structurally sound.
Showing its age, surrounded by trash and weeds, it's one of 3 National Historic Landmarks in Columbus. More than $500,000 was sunk into restoring this place and the surrounding properties. Still, it sits slowly deteriorating.
Something needs to happen with this site.
Aaron is the executive director of Rickenbacker-Woods Technology Project. He's pushing to reinstate the nonprofit that went belly up in 2009. Aaron wants to see a museum, resource center, and place of innovation and history.
We want to see this campus become an active attraction for neighborhood residents.
But that's going to take more money. The damage, wear, and tear is already taking a toll.
It's a good intention with bad results. It simply is a waste of taxpayer money.
Taxpayers like Sonny Cervone asked Fox 28 investigators to find out what happened with hundreds of thousands of dollars. In 1998, City Council approved spending $42,000 to buy the property. The state forked over thousands more in grants, $149,000 for buying up nearby properties, including this boarded-up place and this fenced-in lot, $96,000 in consultant fees, $280,000 to renovate the Rickenbacker house and the home next door. The roof, chimney, windows, doors, and porch were all fixed up to fit the turn-of-the-century look, like $30,000 to match the color and paint the main home. And look at it now as the investment is peeling away.
It's just not the impression we want people to have of Columbus.
Is it worth it?
Well, I think it's a national landmark, so I think one can argue we really don't have a choice.
City officials say the location and preservation costs were critical to keep the property on the list as a national landmark. Since 2001, Columbus has spent $35,000 mowing grass, cleaning up trash, securing and maintaining the properties. Nothing has been done to the inside, and boards cover the windows. But Aaron is hoping this place has a brighter and better future.
Why not rebuild it as the neighborhood around it becomes rebuilt and alive again?
You can't look at the Rickenbacker site in a vacuum. You have to look at it through a community-wide redevelopment approach to the area.
The effort still may be a tough sell. Initial estimates in 2001 called for $8 million to make the museum and restorations come to life. This time around,
we're at the very initial stages, so a dollar amount I can't put on it.
But giving up the fight wasn't something Eddie Rickenbacker would have done, leaving the site's future up in the air.
Aaron says he's getting local funding to pay the $500 fee to reinstate the nonprofit. He expects changes coming to the Rickenbacker site in the next 6 months and says community partnerships will help fund that project.
Yeah, well, why not just move the house somewhere else? I was talking to Bob about this earlier when I saw your story. Why move it to the Historical Society or another location?
Well, that was the question I asked, and the problem is it would actually lose its historical significance. It would no longer be on the historic registry if they did that. It has to stay at the original site.
You know, there's an actual copy of it at Mott's Military Museum in Groveport using the blueprints from the Rickenbackers that were provided. It's perfect and it's very well maintained. It's such a shame that the original home hasn't been well maintained. What are they going to do now? I mean, it looks like it's going to fall down unless something gets done.
Right. Well, they say it's structurally sound, but the city really wants to have someone there full time so they can watch the property and if people do decide to visit, educate them about it.
Well, it actually
is a lot more money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
The amount of money being thrown around at this right now might be a bit of a tough sell.
They're going to need some donors.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you, Brooks.
You're welcome.
Well, if you have a Waste Watch tip for Brooks and the Fox 28 investigators, give them a call at 255 News, or you can send them an email to tips@myfox28columbus.com. You'll also find Brooks and Tom there on Facebook and Twitter.